This has been the story that we don't really have a good answer to so far in 2014, but the U.S. economy is somehow levitating somewhere above the rest of the world.
Right. Right. Well, I would say the way I look at it is that the U.S. economy is continuing to sort of grind and hold itself together. The rest of the world is deaccelerating, and sometimes in a scary fashion, like particularly in the Eurozone.
Well, I use a nice, happy word like levitating, and you come back with the word grind. You're a good deal more pessimistic.
Well, grind can be a good thing, right? I mean, and the U.S. is sort of, we are continuing to sort of, as we just saw with the GDP print, just last week, we continue to sort of like not screw up too much. However, it's the rest of the world that really is where these economic risks are starting to sort of be exacerbated.
What's going on in Japan? Overnight, we got some headlines. The 10-year yield at a record low. The
Right.
2-year yield in negative territory, which means that you are paying for the privilege to lend the Japanese your money, even though the economy is in a recession.
Right.
I guess Shinzo Abe now has this mandate because he was reelected, but is Abenomics working?
Well, it's working for the Nikkei, for the stock market.
It's not working for the proverbial Mrs. Watanabe.
Right. I mean, I think one thing that the markets, I think, got a little bit overly excited about, certainly earlier on in early 2013, was, okay, we had this big grand vision of, oh my God, the 3 arrows and all this kind of stuff. And the PowerPoint presentation, if you will, was very powerful. The details, just take years to actually manifest themselves. And you're having also to deal with a lot of, sort of strong structural, cultural, and corporate governance issues and all those things. Those things don't get cured overnight the way certaral banking
or the way a French
program
fry supply problem gets changed overnight. That actually, we talk a lot about the consumption tax hike. I wonder if you can now supersize fries. That ought to be a big stimulus to the economy.
But these, I mean, the structural reforms that you're talking about, these were all, there were supposed to be 3 arrows in his quiver for Abenomics. That was that was the metaphor he always used. It's that third arrow we can't get to. Why do we even talk about this as if it's a thing that's going to happen?
Right, and it's not just in Japan. You see that reforms being difficult in Europe as well.
Promised, not achieved.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things that just takes a long time to do, I think, given some of the cultural and just sort of the corporate infrastructure, if you will.
But it's beginning to feel like one of those things that elites like to say that are politically just completely untenable.
Well, yeah. I mean, they have to kind of say it, and the question is can anything actually get accomplished?
We're going to shake up the agriculture industry.
Yeah, exactly.
Farmers are my voting base. I saw in your notes, so you want to place your bets overseas in 2015. You're big on a lot of European equities, I believe, also?
No, not necessarily. I mean, European equities, I think,
He's confident. He's not crazy.
No, but here's the problem. Sorry, where I was going with this. Here's what bothers me. It's everybody comes on, they say, Europe's flagging, Japan is in recession, but I want to bet on the Nikkei, I want to bet on the Stock 600 because they're junkies and they believe in stimulus, not because they believe in the strength of those economies.
Right, and, it may be a cynical statement, but unfortunately that is, I think the key to European equities is really how the central bank is able to achieve its responses. I mean, you can take clearly we want to see reforms take place and all that kind of stuff, and there probably will be some very slow progress in some of those key countries. But, if you're trading the market, I think you have to look at what's happening with Mario Draghi and how he's responding to his constituents and to that economy before anything else. That's going to be key. The Eurozone equities have been effectively range-bound for some time. They probably will be unless we can see a very strong, stimulus initiative actually getting done, as opposed to just talked about.
And it is fascinating to hear you talk about, Mario Draghi. It really is in so many different countries. The only person capable of conducting any policy at all is the central bank chair.
Right.